Hey, this is SRIKA and today's video is about finding a day of any date. This can be done in two different ways, of which one involves memorizing a lot of codes and other involves just understanding. In this video, I will be sharing with you the second method, which does not involve any memorizing. It's a little longer compared to the other method, but it's easier. So let's get started. Any date can be divided into three components: a day, a month, and a year. The year can either be a leap year or a non leap year. Leap years are years that have 29 days in the month of February, and non leap years are years that have 28 days in the month of February. How to find whether a year is a leap year or a non leap year? To find that, first we need to know what are century years. Century in general means 100. So, century years are years that are multiples of 100. The years 2000, 1700, 1900, and 1300 are some of the examples of century years. So, coming back to the concept of leap years, century years that are divisible by 400 are leap years. Non-century years that are divisible by 4 are leap years. So, if it is a non-century year, check for the divisibility by 4. And if it is a century year, check for the divisibility by 400 and not by 4. So, now let's try to predict whether the following years are leap years or not. The year 2000 is a century year. So, check for the divisibility by 400. As 2000 is divisible by 400, it is a leap year. Similarly, try to understand the others too. Check if it is a century year and accordingly check for the divisibility by 4 or 400. The most important concept that you need for calculating the day of any date is the concept of odd days. What are odd days? Odd days are the days that are left other than the complete week. You have to calculate the number of odd days in each component of the date. So first, odd days in a year. A non-leap year has 365 days, which can be divided into 7 into 52 plus 1 days, that is 52 complete weeks and 1 day. Therefore, the number of odd days in a non-leap year is 1. Similarly, leap years have 366 days that can be divided into 52 complete weeks and 2 days. The number of odd days in a leap year is 2. Next, coming to the odd days in a month. A month can have 28, 29, 30 or 31 days. So, if you write these as a multiple of 7 plus the remainder, you will get the number of odd days. A month that has 31 days have 4 complete weeks plus 3 days. So, number of odd days is equal to 3. Similarly, you can calculate for a month with 28, 29 or 30 days. So, if you are a person still confused of which month has how many days, this table might help you. Next, odd days in days. Express the day component of a date as 7x plus y, where x will be the number of complete weeks and y will be the number of odd days. For example, if the date is 25-10-2020, you can represent the date component of the date, that is 25, as 7 into 3 plus 4, which means 3 complete weeks and 4 odd days. Here is an important note. Odd days can never be greater than 7 because 7 days make a week. If you get total number of odd days greater than 7, then divide it by 7 and take the remainder as number of odd days. There are 0 odd days in every 400 years. So let's try to prove this fact. Every 400 years have 97 leap years and 303 non-leap years. And every leap year has 2 odd days and every non-leap year has 1 odd day. So the number of odd days will be 97 into 2 plus 303 into 1, which is 497. Since odd days cannot be greater than 7, divide 497 by 7 and take the remainder, that is 0, as the number of odd days. Similarly, you can remember the number of odd days in every 300 years, every 200 years and every 100 years so that you can save time. Do try to prove them yourself. Now, How is this going to help you? The year is represented as a multiple of 400 plus multiple of 300, 200 or 100 plus the remaining years. Example, the year 1856 can be represented as 400 into 4 plus 200 into 1 plus 56, that is multiple of 400 plus multiple of 200 plus remaining 56 years. Of this 56 years, 14 will be leap years and 42 will be non-leap years. To find the number of leap years in an interval, check how many multiples of 4 lie in that interval. Now, the number of odd days in 1856 is therefore equal to 0, since every 400 years have 0 odd days, plus 3 since every 200 years have 3 odd days, plus 4 into 2 since there are 14 leap years that have 2 odd days each, plus 42 since there are 42 non-leap years that have 1 odd day each. So the total number of odd days becomes 73, and on dividing by 7 and taking the remainder, we get 3 odd days. Now try understanding for other years too. Finally, now let us know what the number of odd days tell us. If the number of odd days is 0 or 7, it means the required day is a Sunday. Similarly, if the number of odd days is 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, 6, it may represent the other days of the week. Let's try to find some date using this method. If the date is 19/9/2012, divide it into day, month and year. Always start with the year and exclude the year in which your date lies. So, 2012 can be written as 400 into 5 plus 11 years. Of that 11 years, 2 are leap years and 9 are non-leap years. So, the total number of odd days is equal to 0 plus 2 into 2 plus 9 into 1, which is equal to 13 days. Dividing 13 by 7 and taking the remainder, we get 6 odd days. Next, coming to the month part, again, do not include the month for which you are calculating. Add up the odd days from all months before September. Careful with February. Know whether it is a leap year or not and calculate accordingly for February. Total odd days is 20. And again, when we divide and take the remainder, we get 6 odd days. Finally, calculate the number of odd days from the day component, which is 19, which can be divided into 2 complete weeks and 5 odd days. Total number of odd days in the date is the sum of the odd days from the year, month and day, which is 6 plus 6 plus 5, which is equal to 17. On dividing by 7, we get total of 3 odd days, which means 19th September 2012 was a Wednesday. Check the result with the calendar. It's perfect, right? Now try to predict the day of the date 19/10/2002 and 23/4/2000 and put your answer in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you understood this method, hit that like button and share it with your friends.